Hi everyone. Today I'm listening to Iron Butterfly for the first time, and I don't know much about it except that some of you have mentioned it along the way as a significant band, and now it's my turn to hear it for the first time. This is going to be fun. The song is In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida? That kind of has a fun flow to it, although it sounds like I don't know what it's saying. And it says 1968. That's kind of early, isn't it? Well, I have a few paragraphs to read, then we'll listen. Iron Butterfly was an American rock band formed in San Diego, California in 1966. They are best known for the 1968 hit In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, providing a dramatic sound that led the way towards the development of hard rock and heavy metal music. Oh, maybe that's why some of you have mentioned it. Their second album, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, okay, the entire album, remains a bestseller, and Iron Butterfly was the first group to receive an in-house Platinum Album Award from Atlantic Records. At slightly over 17 minutes, the song occupies the entire second side of the album. The lyrics, a love song from the biblical Adam to his mate Eve, are simple and are heard only at the beginning and the end. The middle of the song features a 2.5-minute Ron Bushy drum solo. In 2009, it was named the 24th greatest hard rock song of all time by VH1. It is also often regarded as an influence on heavy metal music and one of the firsts of the genre. So this is, 1968, kind of early-ish, at least in my mind. And even with a big old drum solo. Let's see how it sounds. Almost like a Baroque toccata on the organ.
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, honey, don't you know that I'm loving you? In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, baby, don't you know that I'll always be true? Oh, won't you come with me and take my hand? Oh, won't you come with me and walk this line? Please take my hand. Let me tell you that. In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, honey, don't you know that I'm loving you? In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, baby, don't you know that I'll always be true? Oh, won't you come with me and take my hand? Oh, won't you come with me and walk this line? Please take my hand. It's all right.
Okay, should I be laughing or should I not be laughing? I don't even know, but something about it makes me laugh. Something about it is humorous and funny, and it has to do with the voice and the music and this set of lyrics and the whole Adam and Eve thing. It's all, you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of maybe watching some kind of cartoonish, slightly cartoonish, with a lot of primary colors and kind of elementary should I say large coloring book style, children's coloring book style depictions on an old little color TV, like some old movie about, I don't know, Adam and Eve for children or something. Or what else? Oh, here's one. You know, sometimes Sunday school, for the little kids, they pull out these felt sets with cutouts of biblical characters. And there's something about that in this, at least this first part, that just struck me funny. And I couldn't help laughing. By the way, apologies for pronouncing the name wrong. It's In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, it sounds like. But, you know, it's all fun, right? And there's something that makes me think of, I don't know, tropical jungle in there somewhere. I don't know why. that might be a good place to pause it. I was tempted to pause it several times because I wanted to point out different subtle shifts in the tonal and instrumental balance, but I tried to do it with my hands because I felt like this is a passage where, well, it's the same riff over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's the sort of musical passage that if it were going in the background, I would get fed up and want to switch it to something else, because for me, the reward in a passage like that is sitting like I'm doing right now and listening and following the gradual shifts and changes and the coloring of it as it progresses. It's the sort of thing that is, it's a bit like, shall I say, knitting or crocheting, where it's a gradual development. It's a gradual, it's something that doesn't actually fit in well in this fast-paced modern life, right? You have to take time to sit down and sit and enjoy the process as it goes. And it's about the process, not the destination. That's how I feel about a passage like this. And I'm so glad that I'm sitting here attentively for the first time as I'm hearing it for the first time. And it's not going on somewhere in the background, or I'd probably just shut it off and be irritated with it. Maybe some people like that kind of background music, but for me, not so much. But here, it was incredibly rewarding to sit and hear the organ shift and change and color it, and then the organ fades away, and then the guitar comes in more prominently, and then, you know, each little variant of it, and it takes its time moving from one to the next. And that's part of the experience, is not being in a rush to move away from that musical motif. Really, something that, well, we have a lot of music like this in the classical world too. Music where it's dense. This isn't, I wouldn't call this dense, but you know, it's dense, or it's something where you have to sit and listen and hear the progression. Otherwise, it doesn't give you a lot of reward. Now, there's also a lot of easy listening music like that. Think of a lot of the background music that we have today, which is just flowing along. Some of it can be in the background and be okay, or there's maybe a happy balance between the two in something like some of Satie's music, where it's also about the coloration of the chords, not a lot of forward progress, but you can have it in the background, or you can sit and listen to it, or sit and play it and enjoy every little kaleidoscopic shift in the pattern and the color. Maybe I would get to the point where I could do that in the background with this too, with some time and familiarity. But for now, it feels like something that is rewarding because I'm paying attention to it. And I enjoy that. So let's see what's coming next, because this is kind of a change in the piece here. Guitar is going. Just the drums. hate stopping it, but I gotta stop it because I feel like we're moving into another section gradually, and I've got to talk about this drum solo. So, what a nice drum solo. Not really what well, I'm not enough of a drummer to know if it's really highly virtuosic. It doesn't sound really virtuosic. It doesn't sound like it's full of fireworks to me. But I loved the way that he took the riff that we had been enjoying for the past many minutes and used that and continued to shape it and reform it throughout the course of the drum solo. There was a point where I was motioning with my hands because he was using, he was outlining pitches with the drums. And then as he moved into the next kind of variant, even though we didn't hear those pitches in his new version of it, I was still hearing it in my imagination. I was still hearing it in my inner ear. He was so smooth transitioning from one to the next that it was as if he was playing a duet with himself. There was what he was doing, and then there was the second part, and they could have layered on top of each other beautifully, but instead we hear it's this kind of continuing spinning of the thread along the way, and I felt like it was really beautifully done. Another thing I noticed, which I really enjoyed, and this is not something that I talk about a lot because I'm no expert in this stuff by any stretch of the word, but I noticed it and appreciated it a lot here. And that is how the sound was panning from one side to the other, and it was a gradual transition. It was almost as if I was in the center of a circle of drummers, and I could hear them moving around me, and I felt like it added such a nice extra element rather than just hearing the drums in the same location. I hope each of you get the chance to listen to this, or have had the chance to listen to this with headphones like me, so that you can enjoy it like I did. I'm sure it wouldn't sound the same in a room, right? But with the headphones on, oh, that was enjoyable. I really enjoyed that part of it. Okay, now this organ coming in, it's just so smoothly sneaking in from the tail end of the drum solo, and again, a nice passing of the torch to the next instrument. And the thing I noticed about the organ in this is that even though it's fitting within the stylistic format of the piece, when the organ is on its own, like at the beginning or now, there is a lot of Baroque style elements to the way he's playing the organ. There are moments when I could be listening to some Bach or something in a church with an organ. If you go far enough on, then the spell is broken and it's not that. But there is enough of that it's kind of, for me, because of my background, it plays with my mind a bit as I'm listening. Like that. Dun, dun. And then dun, dun, ding, bong, bong. And then it's cha, 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 cha. And the drums have moved over here. And now it's as if, I don't know, from some ethereal place, the organ just glides into the picture. And suddenly, beautiful contrapuntal polyphonic Baroque style writing Walking down here, walking here. And these drums have circled back around to this side. The organ is descending down the scale gradually. Now suddenly, that little bit of tremolo added kind of changes the mood a bit, doesn't it? Still playing with the dissonances, the suspensions, and I love the way it's walking down. Walking down here. Little swell. Intensity. Oh, it darkens. Okay. Woo! The jungle has returned. Definitely. All the jungle creatures. Back to this organ. The drums are still holding it here. Moving down a bit. I love the contrapuntal element of it. Two separate voices. That could be Bach, couldn't it? And here is that riff. Bum, 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 bum. Here comes the bass pulsing in. And here's the guitar. What a transition. Galloping across. Organ. Woo! What's that? A herd of elephants, maybe? Isn't it amazing how it changes our picture? chords there. Dun, 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 dun. Now we're descending again. Okay, here comes the guitar.
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, honey. Don't you know that
Yes,
I'm
his voice.
loving you? In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, baby. Don't you know that I'll always be true? Oh, won't you come with me and take my hand? Oh, won't you come with me and walk this line? Please take my hand.
Back to just the drums. Wow, that really went so many places and covered so much ground. Well, I didn't intend that to be a pun, but Walk This Land covered a lot of ground. I have to say, I'm impressed. 17 minutes, and it held my attention. Even through some of the long periods of slow progression, slow progress, and just gradual change. It kept my attention. I am also quite pleased from a musician's perspective on how a piece like this, so long, with so many disparate parts and stylistic elements, manages to flow and feel so natural and comfortable in its progression from one to the next to the next. I mean, think about it. It started out and it felt rather comedic, right? At least to me. And then it moved to that repetitive section, which was more, should I say meditative in a way? And then came the drum solo. Great drum solo, which had all this motion and at the same time kept the thing glued together so tightly. Then we moved to the organ portion. What a change of style. It was truly contrapuntal and very much reminiscent of Baroque contrapuntal organ music. And it went on for a long period of time, which means we've traveled from, I don't know, comedy to blues to drum solo to back in the 1700s organ style, and then back again and move on through the sort of jungle moment where you hear the different cries and squawks and sounds of different jungle creatures, sets us in a completely different time and place. And then this voice returns. And I have to confess, the second time around, it didn't feel so comedic. I don't know why, if it was just the context and the flow. It felt different at the end than it did at the beginning. Even though it was the same voice, the same style and everything. And then the ending, they pulled in that rather traditional organ style, and then one last flourish of the main riff, and it was over. Formally, structurally, it worked. Texturally, stylistically, it managed to hold together. And musically, artistically, it was an adventure for me. And I had fun with it. I would have to spend a bit more time with it before I could pull each part and say, this is doing that and doing that. But we don't have to pull a piece apart in a fine way every time to enjoy it. You can see I'm able to enjoy this the first time around, having never heard it before, in spite of the fact that it's a large-scale work. And among the rock, under the rock umbrella, it's one of the better large-scale works I've heard. I won't say it's the best, but it's among the best that I've heard, because it did all this. And actually, it did it in a way that didn't feel pretentious, didn't feel like it was trying. It was just kind of, it drew me in with its humor and its fun and its creativity. And then it carried me on through all this other stuff. Well, it's kind of appropriate, isn't it? Walk this land, honey. Come. I'm in love with you. Let's walk this land. What a vast expanse of land. Everything from jungle to I don't know, African safari type plains to everything in between. You even have the detailed work of fine, artistic, intellectually developed, contrapuntal, musical style. Just take everything in and enjoy it with me. And that's nice, isn't it? That was In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida by Iron Butterfly, and way back in 1960, 68? I enjoyed it. We'll see what comes next. I'm sure I'll be listening to more Iron Butterfly in the future, and I'll see you soon.